What is going on, everybody? Vex30 here, coming with a new video, and today we decided to do something interesting on stream. Yesterday we decided we wanted to do a pre-season 5 support tier list. I just kind of came out of nowhere. Somebody asked for it, and I was like, sure, why not? This video, I talk about every support and where I think they're gonna be in season 5 because of the changes to cauterize, etc. If you want to see the changes to caught, be sure to look back. We have a couple of videos covering those changes, but again, remember, this is very speculative. Anything could change. Any change could happen in the PTS and change this all completely up. So I just kind of did this because I thought it'd be fun to have a prediction before season 5 and kind of do a season 5 tier list once it comes out. So I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, go follow me over on my Twitch Vex30 for some live content, and TikTok Vex30_YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those great things in this video because the algorithm needs it, and you want my videos be out there, right? All right, take a moment here. I'll see you in the video. All right, quick announcement. We have released a website for Paladins. I know, really weird, interesting, awesome. I love it. Link below down in the description, realmstats.gg. You can come to this website to check out analytics for Paladins, and we have future plans on this to update the UI, make it more intricate, adding a ton new things. As you can see, we're gonna be working on matchups so you can see counters for champions, etc. There's a ton of different stats here and super useful stats to check out. You can check out team compositions, you can check out win rates by maps, talents, ranks, etc. There's a bunch of different filters here. Like say I wanted to go to map, I want to see how Cassie is performing on certain maps. I could type in Cassie, boom. How is she doing? She's struggling on Bright Marsh. I find that interesting actually. So if you want to check this out, let me know down below. Check the description for the link. If you like it, go share it to your friends. The more support we get on this page, the more we plan on developing it. So if you like it, check it out, use it often, and be sure to pass it around. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the video. I don't care. They're going to be out of order. Okay, so S, OP. A, better than average. C, or B, average, is okay. C, meh, not very good. And D is your throwing. Jenos. Next patch. I think Jenos is a worse Corvus. I don't think he will ever, until he gets buffed, I think you're either going to see Jenos or Corvus in the meta at all times. It is not both. It is one or the other because they both do the same thing. So with that being said, also, why is Corvus not on here? Did I pick a super old tier list? I think I did. Yeah, just remember, this tier list is going to be very speculative and could just be completely wrong. So just be aware of that. Could be absolutely wrong. But, all right. Corvus. I think Corvus, next meta, next patch, with Cauterize being 90% late game, you're going to need two things. Two things and a luxury out of a support late game. You need high base damage, you need burst heals, and then luxury, you need a hit scan. So Corvus, the way his gun works is you point and click. As soon as you click, it hits the target. That's what hit scan is. That's a luxury. That is amazing because supports will have 90% caught on their base, on their gun late game. So somebody like Corvus knocks off everything. High base damage, has a burst heal, and has hit scan. He's going to go A. I don't think he's going to be OP because of his ultimate is a bit weaker, but I do think he's going to be very good. Furio. She's getting buffs to cherish from 15 to 20%, right? I think it's 15 to 20%. First buff. Furio, yet again, knocks off all the fucking of the checklist for next patch. What you need. High base damage. High base damage, burst heal, and she's hit scan. So she can apply caught. Not only can she apply caught, she can miss the target and still apply caught because she has a shotgun that is long range. It's always been a very curious thing about Furio, but yeah, she applies caught very easily at long range. And with her high base damage, she has extremely high burst. When you have full wrath, she can very, very easily ultimate dive in and just kill everybody and not heal once and win the game. Because Furio right now in the meta is extremely high damage and can easily 1v1 damage dealers. So imagine That, but with Cauterize now, Furio is going to be insane. I think she's going to be broken next patch. I think she's actually worth a ban next patch. I think she's going to push into that territory. Grover, burst heal, high base damage, high poke. Doesn't have the Cauterize application as Furia or Corvus, but has high enough base damage and enough utility with deep roots and a strong enough ultimate where I can justify putting him at A. I'm very close to putting him down at B because he doesn't have that Cauterize application potential, because of his attacks are slow, but he does enough high damage. He does super high damage with his autos that you can hit somebody for 700 and put them into caught. So you do burst damage and you put them into caught. So now they're afraid to do anything because they need to wait for a heal. They won't get heals easily after that. So I do think he's worth a spot in A. Chair, will you lean back, please? I'm trying to just vibe. Okay, Grok, terrible. Multiple reasons. One, his ultimate is decent. That's fine. Healing, not enough. Doesn't do enough healing overall. And it's a lot of tick healing and very easy to Cauterize people because the totems are very predictable. Not only that, Grok limits your teammates. There's one thing I do not like about Grok, and I've never liked about Grok, is he's very limiting to your teammates. In non-competitive play, it is very hard to communicate to your team outside of people using voice chat where totems are. If you're placing down a totem, you're requiring and relying on your teammates to do it. Teammates, every time I get into a game, I assume all of my teammates are terrible at the game. And honestly, it's a bad way to think at times, but it's a great way to think at times because you'll never get mad. You have no expectations. You can't rely on a teammate to look for a totem. Impossible. Grok doesn't do enough healing. Doesn't have very good caught application because it's short range. Does a decent base damage, has pretty good base damage, so that's where he does shine. So he can be a good damage dealer late game. So like, can I put him C? Maybe. We're gonna put him at C for now because I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's that good. Io is in my head. I've been thinking about Io ever since Grover because I'm unsure if to put her B or A. She has that high decent base damage, pretty consistent, so can kind of consistently apply caught, but it's projectile, so you know things happen with projectiles compared to hit scan. High base damage, but she doesn't have a burst heal. I think her HPS is high enough that it's not a burst heal. It just isn't a burst heal. It just isn't a burst heal. But another place she does shine is she has a DR. Just like Corvus, I need to mention. Corvus has a damage reduction and utility. That's another thing you're going to be looking for. So I forgot to mention this. Another thing you will be looking for in supports next patch is utility. Grover's utility is countered by Resi, and you can easily buy Resi now because you don't have to buy Cauterize. But someone like Corvus, who passively applies movement speed and DR to his teammates, that doesn't get countered by anything. So that makes Corvus even better. The same thing with Io. She can apply movement speed and she can apply damage reduction. She's lacking a little bit on the hit scan application. She does decent damage. So right now I'm going to put her at B, but I'm going to do this because I think she's in between. We're going to literally make a specific fucking place here because I don't think she's A. I don't think she's up there with Corvus and Grover. And if anything, I might put Grover B+ too. Just because, we'll see. But I don't think Io is B. I think she's above average, but she's not A yet. Jenos. I don't think Jenos is bad. I think he has a decent base damage, but can't get too close to do damage because he can't easily escape. He has a consistent movement, but not a long-range movement like Grover, or you would even say Damba can get out of situations pretty well. Jenos is okay next patch. His healing increases, put him into a place where he feels better. You'll just never pick him over Corvus, but I don't think he's a throw pick. Can apply caught at long range, which is great. Can apply caught at long range. Again, I'm like that as a luxury on supports. And kind of has a burst heal on his base heal, but his healing kind of falls off. No, I actually think his healing is decent next patch because it's consistent and people can get out of cauterize and not wait for a heal. So the way his healing works also works. So I'm going to put him at B. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's a throw pick. Like if you're picking anything C and below, I think you're throwing. But I don't think he's good. I think he's in between. Like he's not, you just pick Corvus always. Damba's a weird one. I don't think he's actually going to be that good next patch. I don't think Damba's going to be that good. I think he's going to struggle because he doesn't have burst healing. He has consistent healing. He does not apply caught at range, and he doesn't have a high base damage. And the only utility he has comes in forms that can get countered easy by Resi, which Resi is very easy to buy next patch because of no caught. As much as I hate to do this, I'm tempted to put Grok or Damba either at a B or a C+. I don't think he's going to be that good next patch. I think he is hard falling off in a 90% caught meta with the caught changes. So like, I almost think Jenos might be better than Damba. I'm going to play around with this a little bit at the end. Some of these might change at the end of this list, but because I didn't pre-think about this at all. Yeah, Damba's not going to be good next patch. Because he gets hard countered by Resi, and Resi is easy to buy. You need burst healing for 5 people applying caught 3. He won't do well late game. We'll be fine early game, but again, late game, he just doesn't do anything. And late game is pretty consistent right now with 13 minutes. I'd have to check all the match timing. I need to find a match timing average. I should add that to Realm Stats. We should add that to Realm Stats, the Paladins analytical website that you should check out that we created. But yeah, I don't know. Damba B. Pip's a weird one for me because of multiple reasons. The issues he had before, that Combat Medic is the main source, the main healing one, and Combat Medic is so hard to play. It is probably the most challenging talent to play in Paladins. I don't think there's harder. One of the most challenging things to play in Paladins. Supports, 100%. I think he's the hardest support to play. Combat Medic Pip, hardest. Damba, one of the hardest. So he already has that issue going for him. 2, his ultimate, hard countered by Resi, just like Damba. He's going to run into that issue. He got a 60 DPS increase in Combat Medic. Somewhat relevant, not really. Meh is all I can say. He has burst healing. 750 healing per autos, great. Love that. And then he has pot, so he has great burst healing. Can't apply caught very well. Has decent base damage, not amazing, decent base damage. Yeah, fire rate. I know the fire rate was increased. That's why I'm saying he got a DPS increase with Combat Medic. I think Pip is B. But if you're good at Pip, he's B+. Like if you're good at Combat Medic, you're B+. It just depends on your skill level. Like, okay, I need to add this. Unfortunately, I'm going to add this because this needs to be here. I think this guy goes here and this guy goes here, sadly. I actually think Damba's going to be worse than Jenos next patch. That's wild for me to say. And it pains me to say because I simp for Damba. But I do not think he's going to be good next patch. At least based on my predictions of the patch and what I think is going to be good. For somebody else, Damba might be number 1. But for me, the only thing he has going for him is he has a movement speed card in his loadout. So when you heal somebody, they get movement speed. Pip has the same thing if you're running the movement speed card on pot. And I love that card. So they both have utility in their deck. But I just think the rest of it, it's just not worth it. Like, and they don't apply cauterize very well. Yeah, I'm just going to go with this for now. We'll look at it again later. Ray. Ugh. I really don't know. I barely know where Ray is right now because I'm still trying to figure out where Focus is in the meta. So it's very burst heal. No, he has burst heal with Combat Medic. Mega. You should never go Mega Potion. It's a hard throw. You need a consistent form of healing, especially in this game. And like, if you miss time Mega Pot one time, you're done. Unless you're hitting multiple people. So you need consistent, decent burst healing, kind of how Pip has. Make a pot would be a throw next patch. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I don't know where Ray focuses right now. I think right now with extension, how everybody's playing her, I think she might be down here. I don't think she's very good. Go back and watch, Chris. Go back and watch if you want to see Furio. I can explain it later, not right now though. Okay, yeah, I'll explain it later. With extension, she's not very good, but with the focus playstyle, with buffing people's ultimates, and the fact that her heal is okay, and she's hard to kill at times, like extensions on her, if you bait out envelop and you wait until she doesn't have envelop, it's a 14-second cooldown. So as soon as she doesn't have, envelop, she's easy to kill. So you just have to play smart against Ray. She's not that good and not that survivable, as long as you like think. I would put Ray B- for now with focus. Possibly B, because of her ultimate, how strong her ultimate is into 90% caught. Having an insta burst heal for somebody and having decent base damage. Her caught application is similar to Ios. To get back to my two main things you need and a luxury. Decent base damage and apply caught decently. And doesn't really have a burst heal. It's more consistent, but it's right in between like a Damba heal and a Grover heal, and like Fury heal. And she gives insane ult charge on focus. You need to run focus. So you have utility there. And her ultimate's very good. I'm going to put her B. I think she's going to go B for now with focus. But with extension, you have to go focus because you need that ultimate increase to help her. Yeah, I think, yeah. When it comes down to it, the two things that puts her above Damba and Pip is ultimate is better and not countered by Resi, and focus gives super good utility. Better than movement speeds. These guys give. Saris, D. Saris is terrible next patch. She's already bad this patch, but she's even worse at a higher level. I want to say like plat and above. We're kind of like talking plat, diamond, and above right now for this list. Let me preface that. Because terrible base damage, can apply caught decently. Even though she has slow auto attacks, she can still apply caught decently because of her cleave. She can hit one person, go through them, and hit another person. Apply. That's okay. Caught application isn't actually that bad. But she doesn't have very high base damage. And she doesn't really have a burst heal. Her heal is okay. Her HPS is okay, but it's not what you're looking for. Burst heals are literally in an instant heal somebody, or else they'll be right back into caught. Again, right now, people are saying, oh, just rely on your teammates to get out of caught. When there's now 5 people trying to caught 3 your team, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be much harder than people think. And her ultimate's never been good. People like her ultimate, but against good players, they counter it. There's so many counters to Saris ult that it's so easy to counter at a higher level. I think Saris is a harder throw pick than Grok at a higher level right now. I think she's a new player champion, and that's just about it. Which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. She doesn't need any like buffs. She can stay how she is. It doesn't bother me, but it's just unfortunate. The only thing I could see is running a Soul Collector solo support meta. Where you still have decent healing, but you scale way better into late game because you now have damage and survivability, and potential to make plays. That's the one place that I think she could shine as a main support, because right now I think Soul Collector is meta for Saris on Bright Marsh and like Jag. So next patch, it could be, if you run Soul Collector, like this is one of those that's too speculative. I just don't know. Just like with Ray, I really just don't know. With Soul Collector, she has a possibility of being like B- or C, but Ray, she's just terrible next patch. She's going to be terrible with the changes. Ying. My waifu. Okay, so Ying. Ying has okay base damage. She has decent base damage. Isn't bad. The issue is she has a burst heal. So she has that going for her. Of the three things, she has a burst heal. 700 is right there where you can consider it's still a little bit in between. It's closer to a burst heal than a hot heal, which hot is healing over time. Slower healing, but over time ramps up, etc. She has both. She has no utility. Oh, sorry. Let me keep to the 2-in-1 I was talking about. Burst heal, decent base damage, and she can apply Cauterize super easily. Ying is just like Furio that she can snipe people from across the map and apply Caught 3. Do no damage, but apply Caught 3, which is fucking amazing. Like, keeping people consistently Caught 3'd is so fucking good on support. That is a bit of utility that is now important. And has a burst heal. I think Ying is going to go B- for now. I think because she can apply Caught super easily, has a burst. I would almost say B. I don't know. I think she's close to B. She just has no utility in kit, which is the problem. Her only utility is easily applying Cauterize. Has a burst heal, which is what you need, and decent I want to put her B. I think she's at the same level Jenos is right now. Fuck. Ying's better than Damba. Oh my god. That's wild to me. In my head right now, next patch, Ying is better than Damba. No, yeah, I think Ying's B. I think applying Cauterize from long distances, burst heals, and a decent base damage at range, like just pounding on tanks, is enough to put her at B. I think she's either B or B-, and I'm leaning towards B because of the COD application. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say B or B-. Right now, I'm leaning towards B, though. Okay, let me really look through this. Furio, amazing. Broken. Amazing ultimate. Applies COD easily. Frags with COD 3. RD frags in general. Burst heal. Amazing. Corvus and Grover. Maybe I put Grover B+. I'm actually going to do that. I think Grover's B+. I don't think he's A. I think he's still good, but I think Corvus is going to outshine him because of the COD application. Grover's COD application is a little bit different because he does higher damage at ranges. So whenever you clap somebody, like with Kinessa, that's why COD 3 is so important, because whenever you clap cheeks with a champion like that, high damage, like a high burst damage, having Cauterize is super important. So you can keep them caughted and give characters like a Maeve, a Seven, a Vatu a chance to get in on them and finish them. So I think his COD application is a little bit, and it's different than the way I'm looking at it, like hit scan. But I think his deep roots is now more easily countered, which isn't that big of a deal because deep roots at COD 3 at Resi 3 now is still insane. Stopping somebody for like 0.4 of a second is still really good. Yeah, I think Grover's B+. I don't know. I can't put him at A. I think he's in between, but I'm leaning more towards B+ right now. Io, the reason she's there because she has decent base damage. She doesn't have a burst heal, but she can apply Caught decently. What really sets her apart is Goddess Blessing. She can apply 15% damage reduction to her allies. Plus, if you're running a good loadout for Io, you can also apply movement speed. So now she has 2 utility that is not affected by COD 3. Jenos, Ray, and Ying. Well, Jenos, let's put Jenos. No, they can't put them in the same. I can't put them in the same category, but they're still D. Because Jenos, okay burst healing with the changes they made to Luminary. You could also see possibly a binary main support. There's a chance that you see a binary main support, a like focusing lens. No, I don't think about focusing lens actually. I think binary or like Soul Collector solo supports become meta. There's a chance of that. But what Jenos is going for him is okay burst healing, great COD application at long range, and he has his healing can be spread out so well that when they can get out of caught without like having to be in line of sight of their healer, so they can easily get a quick heal on their own and just use it to top off. Yeah, Jenos is still B. I'm almost tempted to put him B minus, but I think he's B. Ray, I think what separates her is her focus talent. You have to go focused for her to be B. If you're going extension, you're like B minus or C. But with focus, it gives her enough utility with the alt battery because you can apply 8% alt charge to somebody every 7 seconds without Chronos. She can apply caught pretty decently. She has a pretty high base damage because her shots, just like Io, are pretty consistently thrown out there, even though they're not hit scan and projectile. And they're long range, just like Io's. And her ultimate is insane against COT 3. It's not countered by COT 3, so. Ying has a burst heal. Decent base damage. Can apply COT. That's about it. That's why she's B. Because she kind of checks everything off. Damba, okay base damage. Can apply COT. Really no burst heals. His utility, which made him better than other supports, is now even harder countered by Resi because how easy Resi is to buy since Cauterize doesn't need to be bought. Pip actually covers the burst damage. Okay base damage. But Combat Medic is so hard to play. And his ultimate is countered so hard by Resi now. Compared to before, just for the reasons we stated. That, yeah, he's going to be B minus. Grok is just not very good in general. Doesn't have great caught application, no burst healing. Does decent damage though. I can give him that and a decent ultimate, but he just doesn't do enough healing to justify that. I think maybe next patch he'll do enough damage and ultimate being good enough that you could put him B minus, but based on like where he's at right now, I just don't see him going up many tiers because of the changes. Saris is bad right now at a like Plat plus level. So she has no very low damage. No burst heals. Even though she does have a high HPS, she doesn't have a burst heal. Doesn't apply caught well. Doesn't have good base damage. Ultimate not very good. Though what I could see is a Soul Collector solo support meta taking over. Possibly. Like maybe a Soul Collector solo support. Like that's out there. But I already think Soul Collector is the meta on Bright Marsh and Jag for Saris. Yeah, I think that's it. I think with the Grover change, this tier list actually looks very close to where I think it's going to be next patch. But yeah, I think I'm going to turn this into a video. So if you see this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all those great things because I love you. But yeah, that's kind of fun to do. We'll see though. We'll see where this tier list goes because there's a possibility that this could be completely wrong if they change things in the next like 2 days, or week. It's very early speculative where I think supports are and why, pretty much. But yeah. Fury's the best heal? Sure, I can explain it now. I didn't want to do it earlier because I didn't want to repeat because I thought I was going to turn that into a YouTube video. But that should be the end of the video. You know, hello, YouTube. Fury is the best next patch because of the system, this outline I made. In supports with 90% caught and 5 people having caught, 3, you need 2 things on supports you're looking for, and you're looking for 1 luxury thing. The 2 main things you're looking for are burst heals, because with 5 people being able to apply cauterize, it is going to be way harder to get out of caught. So burst heals go up in value because it's harder to get out of caught. As you get out of caught, being able to top somebody off quickly before they're put back into caught is very nice. High base damage. Healing does not do very well next patch. It just isn't. Into 90% caught, it's less relevant. So you need supports that can frag and do something late game. Provide something late game outside of healing. So she checks that, and she applies cauterize across the fucking map. And you can literally miss somebody and still apply caught because of a shotgun. Because she has a shotgun. So she covers all 3 of those for me. And then you add on the fact her ultimate is the best in the game. She has utility in her Q, but again, Resi is so easy to buy that I can't count that as a plus. And this patch already, late game, if she ultimates and dashes into people, she can 1v1 damage dealers. She can outfrag damage dealers if she has a decent bit of wrath. You can already dual damage dealers, but imagine now, Furia having 90% caught on her in-hands. Oh, baby. Oh, give me the Furio next patch, please. And Cherish is getting buffed from 15 to 20%. So now she has more burst healing. Triple DPS. I don't think either Green Monster. I think tanks will be fine next patch. Though I could see a triple DPS taking over because tanks still need a decent bit of healing. A lot of tanks they soak a lot of healing, so maybe triple DPS. But right now, from the way the PTS has played out and how it feels, I do not think double support will take over since Cauterize comes online fast enough. What talent will be meta for heal? What talent will be meta for heal talent 1 or 3? Cherish. Solar Blessing is terrible. Okay. I don't think it's terrible. I think it needs quality of life changes. If Furia Solar Blessing had an indicator on where your beam is, so you know where to stop it, it would be amazing. I like the new Solar Blessing compared to the old Solar Blessing, but still needs a little bit of quality of life. Yeah, Jonan, and that's what you need next patch. You need damage dealers as supports. Yeah, but what's good about healing multiple people at once, King? Next patch, even this patch, at late game. What's good about that? They're going to just be in Cauterize. As a good healer, I would rather top somebody off quickly and then wait a second to top somebody else off. Because if you're just healing 3 people at once, but they're all on Caut 3, what's the point of doing that? Healing multiple people at once is not important. It is not important. It is nice, but it is not necessary. Nah, shield card's not worth it. You'd rather run sustain. Let me go back in the game. You'd rather run a build like this for Furia rather than shield, because you need to be able to frag late game to make up for a little bit of lack of healing. Yeah, I don't like Light of Dawn. It just isn't worth the points. Yes, there's a possibility 2 teammates are low and both are out of Cauterize. That's a scenario that happens, or even 3. But a lot of the times, it's like a swap. Like this person gets low, gets out of Caut. This person now gets low, then gets out of Caut. Then this person gets low, then gets out of Caut. That's a scenario that I see happen a lot. So Furia in practice is more effective in game because that's usually the scenarios that happen.